going to talk about Campus Sustainability Month. Before we go into our presentation, I want to give a brief overview about AASHE. AASHE's mission is to inspire and catalyze higher education to lead the global sustainability transformation. We are an international association with about 1,000 members spread across more than 20 countries, including Korea and South Africa. We serve as a professional home for campus sustainability staff, but we offer resources for everyone in higher education: faculty, students, staff, administrators, as well as businesses and nonprofits that collaborate with campuses. We provide an expansive collection of online resources, networking tools, and educational events such as today's webinar, and an annual conference and expo which will be held this year, October 15 to 18 in San Antonio, Texas. Please visit conference.aashe.org for more information, and we hope to see you there. Just a few housekeeping notes before we get started. Everyone in the audience is on mute, but please feel free to ask questions or provide comments at any point during the presentation. You can do that by typing your questions or comments in the questions pane in the control panel on your screen. If you have additional questions, feel free to email them to education@aashe.org, and we will get back to you. At the end of the webinar, you'll have the opportunity to provide feedback regarding today's presentation. We take your suggestions into account when planning for future webinars, so please do provide this feedback. Please note this webinar is being recorded. If you experience technical difficulties or have to leave early, you and others can view the recording later. The recording, presentation materials, and additional resources will all be available in the Campus Sustainability Hub after the live broadcast. Today's webinar is the kickoff webinar for the 2017 Campus Sustainability Month. Held every October, CSM is an international celebration of sustainability in higher education. Campuses and others organize events to engage and inspire incoming students and other campus stakeholders to become sustainability change agents. Events include teach-ins, sustainability pledge drives, zero energy concerts, and much more. Thanks to support from Colgate-Palmolive, this year's CSM will be focused around water conservation. To support campuses in implementing activities focused on water conservation, in partnership with Colgate-Palmolive, we will be sharing resources and ideas to help promote water conservation on campus throughout the month of October. We will be updating our website soon with these resources, but you can already visit the site linked on your screen for ways to see how you can participate and access the toolkit we already have available. Today's presenters, Leslie Forst and Susan Norton from the Arizona State University, Sarah Burke from University of Nebraska at Omaha, and Stephanie Fragosi from Chamketa Community College, will share examples for how campuses can participate, lessons learned, and suggestions for how to use this international event to promote sustainability on your campuses and beyond. A little bit about our presenters. Leslie coordinates various sustainability projects at ASU's Tempe campus, manages an online sustainability literacy program, and works on staff and student engagement programs. Susan's role includes promoting ASU's sustainability initiatives through the development of programs, projects, and activities, as well as the management of 2 campus community gardens for students, staff, and faculty. Sarah's work includes facilitating the implementation of the Sustainability Master Plan at UNO and helping to support sustainability-based curricular and co-curricular programs, events, and research activities for the campus community. Steph has recently completed the college's first environmental stewardship plan as well as the first carbon action plan. Her responsibility includes promoting the institution's sustainability initiatives through outreach to students in partnership with college life and student retention, as well as sustainability planning, monitoring, and assessment. So finally, it is my pleasure to welcome all attendees and thank you for joining us today. Before we start our presentations, though, we wanted to know more about your plans for this year's Campus Sustainability Month. So we have 2 poll questions to get us started. The first one, are you involved in organizing CSM events this year? let us know by choosing yes, no, or I'm not sure. And let's see a little bit more about our audience. All right, a few more seconds to give everyone a chance to vote. And I'm going to close the poll and share the results. So yes, most of you, at least more than half, are involved directly in organizing events this year. Wonderful. So if you are organizing events this year, is this your first time, or are you experts at organizing this type of event? A few more seconds to give everyone a chance to pick one choice. And interestingly, it's almost half-half, and that's great because our presenters will have tips and best practices both for people just starting with this kind of events or people that have already done this for a couple of years. So thank you, and at this time, I'm going to turn to Leslie and Susan to get us started.
Hello, everyone. So today, Leslie and I are going to co-share this presentation. I'm going to start out with the first half, and then Leslie will kind of take on the second half of the presentation. So again, here's our agenda overview of Campus Sustainability Month at ASHE. We'll go through the actual history of our Campus Sustainability Month, when it started, and how we sort of grew from one day to a full month. We'll discuss lessons learned, next steps, and what we're doing currently this year. And then, of course, at the end, we'll have the question or Q&A session that everybody will be involved in. So to get started, a little bit about Arizona State University and sustainability at ASU. Here's basically a graph of where we're at currently. We have 91,000 students on our campuses, 81,000 solar panels, and that's something that we kind of take pride in, that we have about one solar panel for every student on campus. We've diverted 2,600 pounds of waste from landfills, and we currently have 47 LEED buildings. All of this on 5 campuses, and our one goal is sustainability campus-wide. So the history of Campus Sustainability Month basically started when we were doing lots of different engagement activities at the beginning of the fall semester. We tried to wrap a lot of things into the fall welcome weeks just because it seemed like the right thing to do to really be out there kind of front and center as students were coming to campus, and really kind of trying to engage them and let them know right away how they can be involved in what we're doing. We still do this, but we found that sometimes it seems to be more and more going on each year with Welcome Week. And so we've decided, we kind of learned that it's better to kind of pick and choose what we do at Welcome Week, and it's maybe better to let students kind of settle in. And after they're settled in 2, 3, 4 weeks, then it's a really great time to engage with sustainability. So that's one sort of how it happened with regards to being involved with Campus Sustainability Month. We started out with one day, and we started out on one of our satellite campuses, our Polytechnic campus that has about 9,000 students. So the one-day event was very successful. It was in October. But I soon learned as I was sending out, information to students, a lot of them were like, oh, I have classes Monday, Wednesday, so I'm not here on Tuesday. It tends to be somewhat of a commuter college as well. So it became kind of apparent that one day you really you don't hit, of course, all of the student body. And so then I just realized, okay, then we really need to do multiple days so that way we can try to engage as many students as possible. So if we have more students that tend to have classes Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, again, we're engaging everybody. So the next year we turned it into a week-long event, Campus Sustainability Week. And I definitely like this model, as it's sort of nice that way because you can theme each day. And I think it helps, again, to get excitement if students like stop by a tent or you're tabling and I'm on the way on class, I can't really stop. You can always say, hey, well, we're here tomorrow and this is our theme tomorrow, or we'll be here on Thursday. And it just really helped to kind of, again, get excitement. And with the week, we found, we would see the same students kind of stopping back by or coming to different events that way. One thing I can say is we still focus on Earth Month in April. We do a lot. And that was sort of our original kind of schedule. We focused more energy into Earth Day, Earth Month. But then again, after the one day and the success of the 1 week, we soon realized that October was a great time to kind of engage the students at the beginning of the semester rather than at the end of the semester. We found that it really helped to, again, get them excited about sustainability. It gave them sort of an education if we did Campus Sustainability Month in October. And we were able to kind of build upon that through the year. So we could continue to have events into November, January, February, and then build up to April for Campus Sustainability Month. And that was very helpful for engagement. So again, the opportunities with this sort of scheduling for these engagement opportunities would be, you have, it offers you 7 to 8 months of continuous engagement to help with behavior change on campus. Typically the weather is great in a lot of states here in October, but especially in the desert. So usually the heat has broke and the weather is beautiful in October, and people tend to really want to be out and about, and just, again, tends to be a very good time frame. It's also early enough in the semester that, again, all students are engaged, but sort of past the initial settling in phase. It also serves as a bookend with engagement opportunities that kind of get you through Earth Month in April. So our event strategy is that, probably like all of you, how can we minimize the work while maximizing impact? And that's sort of what you need to think about. You need to think about the size of your student body and, the bandwidth of your department. So that'll, and we do the same here, and especially on the satellite campuses, whether we're going to do 1 week, 1 day, or 1 month. On our large campus, Tempe, we definitely do 1 month. With that, we realized we were really able to leverage partnerships and collaborate with other departments, and therefore, expand the opportunities. We like to, we have found that doing a larger kickoff event is very positive and tends to, again, bring in excitement. Or the same thing would be for a closing event with a notable guest speaker or a movie premiere, something like this. We've also found that doing the whole Campus Sustainability Month in October really allows for a nice follow-up event in November, possibly related to food insecurity with a canned food drive, or just, again, some sort of an engagement opportunity related to food systems or food insecurity. Quickly, some of the previous events, see here some of the titles and some of the topics that we have had. Free Fest, which is like sustainability festival, kind of related to natural capital, and kind of getting that term out to students and having them understand what that means and how it relates to what they use daily. We had a Hollow Green event, tends to be very popular in the residential halls. The far right picture right here is a Tucson native that has a solar sewing machine. He does a wonderful job of making homemade patches for students and kind of touting how easy renewable energy can be for very simple things. Again, film screenings, service opportunities, Walk the Green Carpet is another kind of fun engagement opportunity where we have a green carpet in front of our table, and we ask students to walk the green carpet if they're committed to sustainability. They tend to write a pledge or a commitment, and then we have meaningful dialogue about what they can do to help with AASHE's initiatives. So I'm going to turn it over to Leslie to take over successes and challenges.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to talk about successes and challenges and then also some of our plans for this year's Campus Sustainability Month. I've only been in this role for about 1.5 years, so this is the first Campus Sustainability Month that I'm planning with our department in conjunction with Susan, but she's really built up our Campus Sustainability Month presence at ASU for the past 4 years. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the lessons learned and some of the obstacles we've run into. So some of the challenges that we've run into is that October is a very busy month for us. We start school in the middle of August, so most of our Welcome Week activities are over, students know what classes they're taking, and so a lot of other organizations on campus have also realized October is a really great time to try to connect and engage with students. So we can be competing for messaging and attention, but some of the ways we're looking to get around that this year is really to partner with those other organizations and see if they can maybe highlight sustainability in what they're doing, and maybe we highlight their messaging as well. With a month-long program with tons of events, probably 2 to 3 a week, it's sometimes difficult to carry momentum throughout the month, and that's, you know, from a labor perspective, from a staff capacity perspective, but also from a student engagement perspective, and just to remind people that there's stuff continually going on. That's sometimes a challenge, but I think this year we're really focusing on connecting with different student groups and populations throughout the month, so that we're not always trying to engage the same people, but we're really using our resources to talk to new groups. And then our biggest challenge with any engagement that we do is that we have a very small staff, and we have 5 campuses, and we also have a population that's over 90,000. So engaging with that number of people is always going to be a challenge for us. So we try to find kind of new and creative ways to reach out to people and to kind of mobilize different student groups to help sort of spread our message as well. And as mentioned in the bio, I manage a online sustainability training and literacy program. So one of the ways we're looking to kind of leverage that for engagement is doing competitions during Campus Sustainability Month, whether it's for staff to complete that training, or potentially we've been partnering with Greek Life to see if they want to do a competition between sororities to see who can complete that training. So that's just kind of a way to get people engaged with sustainability without relying heavily on in-person engagement all the time. Some of the successes we've had, we begin planning in the summer, so pretty much as soon as Earth Month ends in April, we start thinking about Campus Sustainability Month, and I think that's really essential, especially when we're trying to do a month-long program and do programming on the other campuses. We focus on having a few really large events, so whether they're keynote speakers or kind of festivals, or really interactive activities with the res halls. So we focus on a couple really big events, and then we weave kind of smaller events throughout the month, just to kind of balance the labor needs. We also use social media to maintain message and momentum. So our students are on social media, and so that's kind of the best way to reach them and kind of keep the theme of, hey, it's Campus Sustainability Month. Look at everything that's going on. Here's how you can engage further. And I mentioned partnering on events that are already scheduled and partnering with other campus groups. So this year, we're really fortunate that we've got a great relationship with our athletics department, and they're very committed to sustainability as well. So each of our athletics teams have a green game throughout their season, and the football green game will be in October. And part of that was meeting with athletics and talking with them about it's important that the entire university celebrates sustainability during October. So it's a good fit to have the green football game be in October as well. And then the last one, I think this is just a general point for student engagement outside of Campus Sustainability Month and year-round, but leverage the knowledge and suggestions of the actual students. We're really fortunate that we have about 12 student workers that help us on different programming, and they're very involved in our student engagement and our event planning, and so we always ask them what they would like to see because they are the population we're trying to reach. And I will kind of finish up by talking about what we have on the schedule for this year. So this year, we are going to kick off the month with a guest speaker. We are bringing in Dennis Hayes, who's the founder of the Earth Day Network, and he coordinated the first ever Earth Day nationally, and he also is president of the Bullet Foundation. So he'll be coming to campus to speak in our new net zero energy student building and talk about the importance of green building practices. And then he'll also be meeting with students throughout or for a couple days to talk about environmental careers and things that they can do to apply their degrees. So that's kind of our big kickoff keynote event. And then we're going to really focus on encouraging people to explore campus resources. So we'll be hosting a campus sustainability tour that kind of features all the stuff that's going on our Tempe campus. We're hosting pop-up produce markets with produce from the gardens that Susan manages. And so they'll be showing up all around campus and people can buy freshly harvested organic fruits and veggies. And then we'll be offering really DIY workshops at our weekly farmers market on the Tempe campus, so people can learn more about how they can do hands-on sustainability learning and projects. And as I mentioned, we're also going to focus on highlighting some new partnerships. So we'll have our football green game, which will feature lots of messaging around what our athletics department is doing in sustainability, and then we'll also have some student groups that are tabling to talk about what they're doing on campus. And then this year we're also going to highlight Make a Difference Day, which is October 21st, in partnership with Changemaker Central, which oversees our community service efforts at the university. So we're really excited about those because that just really helps to increase our capacity and get in front of new audiences. And that is it. And so I understand that we're going to save the Q&A to the last section after everyone's presented, but we're happy to answer any questions you might have about ASU. Thanks so much.
Thank you. We'll switch now to Sarah.
Hello, and thank you for this opportunity to present. I'm Sarah Burke, and I'm from the University of Nebraska at Omaha. Campus Sustainability Month for us in 2016 was the first time that the university participated in such a celebration. So I was hired in November of 2015, and so this was the first attempt for my office to participate in this month. So just quickly, a little bit about who UNO is and what we do. We were founded in 1908, and we were integrated into the Nebraska system in 1968. We're located in Omaha, which is Nebraska's largest city, and we cover 3 campuses, which are roughly about a mile apart. We have a city park that separates our 2 main campuses. We are primarily a commuter campus with a little over 12% of our student body living on campus. And so for the most part, our students are only on campus during their class times. A lot of our students have full-time jobs and other things. So sometimes it can be challenging to host events and activities on campus to engage the student body because they don't remain on campus as some other campuses may experience. And so for Campus Sustainability Month 2016, I just kind of wanted to go through the planning process, especially since this was our first year. And I know that there were several of you saying that this is probably going to be your first year on planning. I kind of want to give you some insight on how we did it and how we may be improving in the future on our planning process. So the entire month was sponsored by my office and our Center for Urban Sustainability here on campus. We actually started planning in September. Our initial meeting, we spent the time developing what our theme would be for the month, coming up with all the ideas that we wished to host,
and then dividing up the tasks between myself and the Center for Urban Sustainability. After that, most of our planning actually occurred via email. We would email back and forth saying how our progress was on all of our events. And then at the very end of September, we did come together one last time to go over some final details to make sure that we were all set for the month. What we didn't want to happen was to still be in the planning process once the month kicked off. We kind of wanted to have everything lined out so that we could just enjoy the month along with everyone else. We did do a lot of promotion for the event. For the month, we utilized our campus-wide and our sustainability newsletters, as well as all the social media channels that we have for the university. In addition, we actually did reach out to all of our department chairs and a select few faculty members that expressed interest in sustainability to help them share the word either through their own newsletters, in the start of classes, whatever those faculty members felt was the best way. And as a result, some of our faculty members actually provided extra credit for students to attend, which was definitely one way to try to boost our attendance. And so what we came up with for 2016 for our month, and we are going to continue this trend through all of our campus sustainability months in the future, is our theme was connect, be inspired, and make a difference. And so all of our programming that we did, we needed to make sure that we focused on that theme. If we could not focus on that theme, then we decided that that event would not be promoted or shared through Campus Sustainability Month. So the thought process we used was, does this event connect students to sustainability in general or to a particular cause? Does this event inspire students? Or does this event provide a method to help students make a difference? If that event could not answer yes to any of those three questions, we did not help advertise or plan such an event. We had a number of different events that we hosted, ranging from movies to speakers. We did some on-site demonstrations, both on just showing something happening on campus or a hands-on experience. And then we also did have some service opportunities for students as well. We did provide a prize giveaway at the end of the month. And so the way students were able to enter is that at each event they attended, they received an entry into the drawing. At the end of the month, we selected 5 random winners that received the gift bag that you see at the bottom of the screen there. And then from those 5 winners, one grand prize winner was selected that received a $25 gift card to our bookstore. And so I'm going to quickly go through just some of the events that we hosted to kind of give some ideas to those universities that are just starting out and not really knowing what they should host. We did do a film series in which we aired 3 films throughout the month that either touched on a particular concept or was an overarching theme. Both Planetary and Just Eat It, we did acquire through the AASHE discount that was offered last year through Bullfrog Films. So we were able to get those at a discounted price. And then Switch, we actually already had in our library catalog. And so we didn't have to actually worry about any expenses on that because we already owned it as a university. At all of these events, we did offer free snacks to any of the participants. Another series that we hosted was a speaker series in which we invited professors to come talk about either an interest of theirs or research that they were doing in the realm of sustainability. So we did have a professor from our political science department present on the environment and politics. Since 2016 was a presidential election year, it kind of worked out really well to have her actually talk about what was going on and how it dealt with environmental issues. Our professor from our College of Business Administration presented on microenterprise, and in particular, she presented on work that she was doing with women in Uganda. And then finally, we had a professor from Geography and Geology that presented on his most recent research he was doing on walkability in urban spaces. So one nice thing about the speaker series was that not only did it give an opportunity for the students to learn more about what their actual faculty members were doing for their research or what their interests were, but it also gave our professors a new avenue to share these issues with students. Usually, they're presenting to colleagues, they're presenting to peers, they're going to conferences, but this time they were actually presenting to students who may not actually be in the College of Business, but maybe interested in the work that she was doing. So it provided a new avenue for them. Another series we did was what we called Get to Know. This gave us an opportunity to engage the student body one-on-one with sustainability. And so we set up a table inside of our student center during our high traffic time, during our lunch hour. And each week we had a different theme. Our first theme on who and what is UNO sustainability focused on the fact that we were a brand new department. Both the Center for Urban Sustainability and the Office of Sustainability were fairly new on campus. So we wanted to be able to explain to students who we were, what we were doing on campus, and how they could get involved. We focused on 2 areas of sustainability for the next 2 weeks, one on transportation and one on recycling. Both of those are large topic areas here at UNO. One, because we are a heavy commuter campus and we are a metropolitan campus, we try to limit the amount of traffic coming to campus. So we do provide other means for them. Our biggest thing that we offer is a free bus pass to the City of Omaha's bus program that they can take to and from campus. So we use these opportunities to talk about these programs to students more one-on-one instead of just seeing it in a flyer or the welcome guide they receive. Finally, we did have the last week, we had a student involvement table where we allowed 2 new student groups focused on sustainability to present what they were doing and give opportunities for students to sign up to participate in those student organizations. And then just quickly, I'm going to run through a couple other small one-off events that we did host or helped promote during the month. So we did partner with 2 student organizations for Campus Sustainability Month. One was focused on dietary options and how that impacts the environment. And then the other student organization, Every Bite Counts, had just joined the Campus Kitchen Project. And so we took that opportunity to actually have the open house and the launch party for their joining that organization to happen in October. At that same event, we did have on display a food computer that was built by one of our professors here on campus to show some new technologies that are trying to address issues of food insecurity and food deserts. In addition to those events, we did also take the opportunity to cross-promote these other events as well. So both these events, the Monday meditation and 3 days of service, always happen every year in October. And so we didn't really have to really be involved too much in the planning process of those 2 events, but they worked really well in communicating sustainability on the social side and just mental health issues and those kind of things. So we asked if we could help promote their events for them. For 3 days of service, we actually did partner with them and host a city park cleanup. Like I said, we do have a city park that's directly south of our campus, and we also have one that's directly north of our campus. And so to be good neighbors, we actually did a city park cleanup during their 3 days of service. And then finally, we did do a lot of things on social media during the month. One of our big things was TED Talk Tuesdays, in which we aired 2 TED Talks that engaged the student body about different topics along those lines. And so by the numbers, for sustainability, we do like to data track, and so some of the things that we came across for that month. We did have different attendance levels for different activities that we had. We had over 15 students participate in our city park cleanup during our 3 days of service. Overall, we were pretty happy with the attendance that we had at all of our events. For being the first time that we were having any sort of sustainability month on campus, we were really pleased by how many students actually did come out and attend our events. We did have 9 campus partners for events that we hosted on campus, ranging from departments to colleges to student organizations. 4 departments on campus provided us supplies to add to our prize bag. And so that way, they not only were they promoting themselves, but they were also helping us provide prizes to students at a low cost to us. In all these situations, in the most part, it was 0 cost to our offices to purchase any of those prizes. And so at the end of the month, our total direct cost to our 2 offices was just over $300. So the one big takeaway I would say on anyone who is thinking about planning Campus Sustainability Month is that it does not have to take a lot of money to plan an event. Use some of the resources that you already have available to you on your campus, and you can really make it a low-cost event, but still pretty impactful. So some lessons learned that we're going to take away from last year's Campus Sustainability Month, which we've already applied to our Earth Month celebration that we do in April, and that we're definitely bringing to Campus Sustainability Month this year, is to know your calendars, both your university calendars and your national calendar. For UNO, our homecoming week, our fall break, and midterms all happen in October. And so you definitely don't want to be busy planning an event and then realize that students aren't going to be on campus because it's fall break, or that there's another large-scale event already being planned and organized for that day. In addition, with national events, Food Day happens pretty much every year in October. And so what we did last year is the Just Eat It movie that we aired, we actually showed that on National Food Day. So we tied in with a national holiday as well. Definitely use social media to your advantage, especially for those students that are not on campus. Since we are a high commuter campus, we also do have a large number of our students that are online-only students. It's still a way to engage that population of students without having them come to campus. Definitely, the next thing I would say is use this opportunity to cross-promote. Not only does it help on saving resources, money, we got our prizes from other departments without an expense to us, but it also helps kind of raise awareness that sustainability goes beyond recycling and renewable energy. You can bring in the social sustainability component when you're cross-promoting with other departments on campus. You can even bring in economic sustainability if you partner with other programs pretty easily. Next, I would say definitely make sure you provide a diverse mix of events and activities and provide all those at various times throughout the month. Some students may not have the time to attend a 2-hour movie because they either have class or they work full-time, but they may be able to attend a 15-minute table event where you're still communicating the same message, it's just in a shorter time frame. And also make sure they're at various times. Even though it may be really convenient to plan every single one of your events to happen at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, students might not be able to attend that every single day. So make sure that you provide a wide variety of times. Also have some stuff that happens in the evenings for those students that may be in class all morning long, but they're free after 6 o'clock. And then finally, the last thing I would say is definitely take pictures and share your story. One thing we did learn after our month as we were writing up our story and trying to share what had happened is we did not have very many pictures at all to visually communicate what we had done for Campus Sustainability Month. So we definitely took that lesson with us to Earth Month this year, and we probably have more pictures now than we will ever need to communicate the message. But that way, no matter what you're putting verbally as you're communicating what you've done and show your numbers, you can also give that visual representation of what you did for Campus Sustainability Month. So with that, this is ways that you can get connected with UNO Sustainability through our social media channels, our website, and then how you can email us if you have any questions. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Sarah. We're going to turn to Steph for our last presentation. Steph, you're still on mute. Okay.
Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to talk about how we use Campus Sustainability Month as a launching point for all of our sustainability messaging. We're a pretty small school compared to the other schools you heard from. We have an FTE of 10,000 students and an annual headcount of 29,000 students. So we have some unique challenges to engaging our students just in general. They're part-time, they're spread across several centers and campuses. They have pretty poor access to public transit. We have a late school start, which starts September 25th this year. And we have these short 10-week terms. We also lose over a quarter of our new students each year. So in figuring that out, we decided that October was actually a really important time to reach our students while they were still here, but we have to pick when in the term we do that very carefully. So what we do is we choose a theme at the beginning of the year or the year before that we can message on throughout the year, whether it's Campus Sustainability Month or Earth Month or a table that we do or some other marketing promotion. We use one of these themes. And these themes these are the most recurring themes that we have on campus. Importantly, they're meaningful to students. We have students who are in the associate students of Chemeketa who are paid students to do student leadership, and one of them is the sustainability coordinator. I try to pick themes that are potentially high influenced by occupant behavior. So as a non-residential campus, we're not going to focus on residential energy so much as things that you could do to reduce waste on campus or food equity. And then importantly, we try to make sure that in our events, we are providing a way for students to take action on campus. So we try to deliver our message in multiple ways from different sources so that they're self-reinforcing. So that could mean that in the marketing materials or at a table or at other points during the year. And then we frequently work with community partners and also with other college organizations and student clubs. And so if they're already doing some kind of messaging, sometimes we can leverage those messages to make sure that those students are hearing the same message even when they're not on campus and it's not coming from us. Because I don't think I mentioned this before, but I'm a staff of 0.75, so it's pretty tough. To do Campus Sustainability Month, I'm working with the Office of College Life and Student Retention, and they have a civic engagement coordinator that I work with. So we have some goals. Because of the shortness of the amount of time that our students are here, frequently they're only here for a couple of years, and they come in, they may not have the skills yet for student leadership. And so the first event, we try to make it very simple or it's pre-planned. And so that what their involvement is limited to doing things like recruitment or tabling, but not actually planning the entire event. And then we're trying to create a hands-on environmental volunteer and service learning opportunity, and again, developing those partnership relationships. So I'm just going to show you a couple of the events that we did starting 2012 and talk about what kind of worked and what didn't. We tried TED Talks, and we found that it didn't work, that even for 20 minutes, students are very hard to grab in the middle of the day. We tried doing outdoor work, which in October in Oregon is kind of iffy, so we've been doing less of that in the last couple of years. But the important thing, I think, is that we continue to do a service learning event, some sort of more formal event, and then we are hooked on to Make a Difference Day. So this is more recent, and you can see again how we're using the themes, and they get recycled throughout the 3-year period. One of the things that we're doing now is we offer an online challenge through the Eco Challenge, and so our online students and students who are at outreach centers and campuses can participate more easily. And we're hoping that will continue to build. We've also done these partnerships with Marion Polk County, Marion Polk Food Share, and now with our Salem Area Mass Transit throughout these last events. So these are some events that these are the actual events that I just showed you. So the theme here is reuse, and we partnered with our community repair fair. We offered one through Marion County Environmental Services at the campus, and it was held in October because it was Campus Sustainability Month. We promoted the Eco Challenge, and then we had this upcycle trash to fashion drag show, which was really fun. It was our first attempt at working with some of our other clubs. We don't have a lot of people in the sustainability club, and we found by talking to the other clubs that a lot of them were interested in doing sustainability events. So I found that that worked really well, but it was a lot of just about offering multiple events at different times, as was mentioned in the last talk. Last year was nature and wellness, and our theme was around service learning and around food equity. So we have a partnership that's pretty unique with the Food Share, where they have a youth farm on campus. So they have the only farm on campus, and it's a way for our students to go out there and do service while they grow food for both our food pantry and support the Marion Polk Food Share at the same time. So it's all entirely operated by the Food Share. And so we wanted to invite the Food Share to come and give it a little talk and introduce people to it. And then again, we had our online challenges that were hooked in through larger other resources. So for this year, our theme is transportation, and I'm really, really excited about this one. It's a little unique that we've lessened the student planning involvement over time just for Campus Sustainability Month, but we have really important things going on in the Sustainability Office, like our commuter survey that we have to do for the Greenhouse Gas Initiative. And then another thing happened this year where our transit district is receiving new funding from a local tax that was passed this past July, and it might lead to extended bus service for nights and weekends. So our buses run Monday through Friday, and they don't go particularly late. And you can imagine that's quite an impact on students. So we're really hoping to connect students to Salem Area Mass Transit so that they can provide a lot of feedback. So we set goals for this particular event where we're promoting lifelong learning skills, confidence in transit skills, talking about equitable access to transit, encouraging participation in our survey, like I said, supporting Salem Area Mass Transit and getting feedback, and then building support for bicycle amenities on campus. And so one of the things I like about a fair is that even though it's a big central event that only happens on one day, students can come in at various times for a little bit, take away a little bit of information, and get deeper in touch later in the year. So we have some community exhibitors coming. We're going to have a carpooling and van pooling meetup. We're also going to highlight the future of our transit system. We're in a kind of a rural area in a small town. I'd say Salem's about 150,000, so not tiny town, but a medium-sized city that's growing rapidly. And so bike share, dial-a-ride, like Lyft Plus, that's all coming to town, and it's not really on students' radar. So I think bringing that in and showcasing what can happen is really important to our community. And just to make sure that we still have that environmental sustainability piece, all important, built in. The Oregon Department of Energy is going to provide us with some climate energy information around transportation. So in general, I think you know all this, but I think it's important to say that, we've tried to recruit faculty heavily to bring students to events. We've found that tying into service learning requirements work really well because students can both help set up the event to earn their service learning requirements or their volunteer hours, or they can actually participate in the event that we're throwing. So those are offered throughout campus, and we keep identifying more and more places where somebody might be have a volunteer service requirement. So we're trying to wrap those up. So we have a scholars program and biology, and the Honor Society has that. So that's a club. So it's really spread out. And then we do these tabling events to lead up. And again, we're just focusing on issues that are tailored to our students' experiences. We try really hard to limit large audience events unless a faculty member or a program is committing actual course time. And I think it's really important to outreach beyond the Sustainability Club in order to leverage partnerships. So this this picture is of an art activity that was done through the International Programs Office where they collected recycled bottle caps, and you can kind of move them around like you would a fridge magnet. And so students love to come over and do kind of that hands-on activity, but it's only really possible because we were partnered with the International Programs Office. That's pretty much what I had to say. So
Thank you so much, Leslie, Susan, Sarah, and Steph, for your presentations. Before we go to Q&A, we have one last poll for our audience. We want to know what activities you have planned for this year. And if you have something else that's not listed here, feel free to type what that is in the questions pane, and I'll share what you are submitting later during the Q&A. So let's see a little bit, wait a little bit longer for everybody to have a chance to submit their answers. All right, so I will close the poll now, but feel free to let us know anything else in the questions pane. So most of you are planning interactive activities. Then we have speakers, then films, then demonstrations, and lastly, other activities. And I'm looking forward to your submissions, and we'll review those. But now let's go to our first question. It is for all three of our presenters, actually 4 presenters. But do you have some ideas for how to engage faculty and staff specifically? This Green Office team will be planning events for faculty and staff, and they're looking for specific suggestions for engaging faculty and staff. So maybe let's go with Leslie or Susan first, and then Sarah, and then Steph.
Okay, great. This is Leslie. So I actually oversee our professional development sustainability program at ASU called the Green Devil Network. So this is a fantastic question because we deal with this a lot of how do we really reach staff to engage them with sustainability. And for Campus Sustainability Month, I am planning a campus sustainability tour, and it'll be really early in the morning, not only because it's hot here still in October, but also because that seems to be a time that staff might be more able to attend. So kind of looking at timing for when staff can participate in things, I think is helpful. So for us, it's typically early morning or at the lunch hour. And then as part of the Green Devil Network, for things that we do outside of Campus Sustainability Month, we host, or we bring in speakers that are doing different sustainability activities across campus that staff might be interested in. So for instance, we're going to have someone from the University Architect's Office come talk about green building practices, or we're going to have someone come talk about alternative transportation from our parking and transit services. And I've asked those speakers to really focus on the audience for staff and kind of understand what that population wants and needs, and how that's different than what students want and need. And I think so far it's been really successful, but I would say that I've kind of focused on tailoring the message a little bit more to specifically staff and faculty, because we found sometimes it's hard to speak to students, staff, and faculty all at once because they have different perspectives, of course, and different time constraints. So if you need further clarification, I'm happy to expand on any of that.
I would say from UNO, we really don't specifically gear anything towards faculty and staff, but faculty and staff do receive a separate newsletter from the general university than our students do. So anything that we're advertising also goes to that faculty staff specific newsletter. And then all of our events are open to our faculty and staff. Outside of Campus Sustainability Month, I do attend new employee orientation every month to engage them in particular about sustainability and what we're doing on campus. And so I do use that opportunity to explain to them that any events that we're hosting are also open to them. And so we did have some staff and faculty that attended some of our films that we had, And they definitely do stop past our information tables depending on what we're doing. Our transportation table, we had a lot of faculty and staff that came through, in particular since our free bus program is open to them as well. A lot of them, that was the first time of them actually hearing that they could also use the bus as well. So we do make sure that whatever we're doing, we do make it available to our faculty and staff as well.
So this is Stefania, and so again, we also present at new employee orientation every month, and I'm also working on something with our diversity and equity coordinator where she's working on cultural competency training, and we're hoping that I can put together a session on climate change and equity as part of that, so that I think will be a really great way to engage our staff around things that I know our staff really care deeply about. All of our events are also open to staff, and I just really hope that they can find the time to come in. Hello?
Hi, did we lose audio from Steph?
Hello? Did that work?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Sorry. So I said that I also do new employee orientation, that the events are all open to staff and faculty, and they see that through a college blog. They also, sometimes I try to reach particular staff that I know have an interest in sustainability to help recruit people to come to events, and I let them know that they're welcome as well. And then finally, I'm working with the diversity and equity coordinator to, she's putting together a cultural competency training for staff and faculty, and I'm working on building a piece on climate change and equity or something of that nature for the cultural competency series.
Thank you so much to all the three different perspectives. I also want to make some comments to the questions that we received. One was about AASHE providing a discount on films this year. Sarah mentioned that last year we were able to partner with Bullfrog Films to offer discounted films. We're still exploring that option, and if something firms up, we'll be sure to share it on our website and probably also in communication to our members and subscribers of the AASHE Bulletin and newsletter. So stay tuned if we are able to get another discount for this year. I think also Sarah mentioned about sharing what you are doing. So we are using hashtag Campus Sustainability Month this year, and also you can upload your pictures and materials to the Campus Sustainability Hub. This is also something we are doing usually for Earth Day, but it's available also throughout the year for any pictures that you would like to share with the AASHE community. So we're almost at time, but I think I'll ask one last question and maybe briefly have the speakers share. How do you maintain the continuity of a relationship with student organizations that work with the Sustainability Office? Is it through more events, more communication, or more pestering? Who'd like to take that question?
I can start here from UNO. So this is Sarah. For student organizations, really when I was hired, we did not have any student organizations that were specifically focused on sustainability. And so the two main ones that we have, I serve as their advisor. So that's actually really helpful in keeping their engagement, is that I do serve as their advisor. And in addition to that, our student government has a sustainability committee. And so I actually attend once a month their committee meetings to stay up to make sure that I know what they are doing, assist where they need assistance. And so for Earth Month this year, that committee actually organized 5 events throughout the course of the month. Because I was I was able to help and guide them. Usually they only did one event and they did a tree planting for Arbor Day. But that's usually, that's how I keep student organizations interested. And then I always tell students that my door is open, so if any student is interested in trying to get involved with my office or in any student organizations, all they have to do is email me. We'll set up a time to meet and figure out the best way for them to talk. So luckily they pester me more than I feel like I'm pestering students. So.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Before we conclude, I also want to go over the suggestions or the ideas we received from our attendees. Other events that they're planning this year are tying in with 3 Campus USA events, doing tours, hosting a sustainability fair, hosting an annual retreat for environmental action where students develop a year-long project, doing residence hall competitions, and also in conjunction with Keep State Great, a day of service to clean up the environment on campus and in the city. So there's lots of amazing events happening on your campuses. Make sure that you also share with us and the AASHE community what you are doing. And if you have any other remaining questions, contact us. I also would like to remind everyone we have another webinar in a week. That webinar is entitled Resilience of Social Ecological Systems and Communities, a Mindfulness-Based Approach. So please join us next week as well, and thank you again to all for participating today. Have a great day.